Hello, hello. Welcome to AEW Watch Along. We are back. I'm John. That's Mike. Let me get my computer over here so you can see. Take it away.
Hi again, everyone. Michael Paul. Good to be back with you. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Boy, we haven't said that for a while. But the reason we weren't here for a while is because I was watching the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, which I'm still watching, but that's now moved to Tuesdays. So we are back with AEW. It's been a while, also because AEW Collision has not been on for a while. It will not be on again this Saturday, but we will come to you with WWE's as Raw, SmackDown, and NXT present Money in the Bank. So we will be with you this Saturday for that. Not a lot of news today, so we're just going to go straight to AEW. I don't know where they're at, but we'll find that out momentarily. Oh, if I've not mentioned it, maybe I have, so forgive me if I'm repeating, but it wasn't that long ago that former UWF, WCW, WWE, and AEW Hall of Fame broadcaster, good old JR, Jim Ross, was diagnosed with colon cancer. So that, I'm sure, has a lot to do with why he's decided to retire this year, or maybe he had decided that before the diagnosis. I don't know. At any rate, let me get my wording correct. At any rate, we send our thoughts, prayers, and well wishes to good old JR, Jim Ross, as he takes up the fight against cancer, and we wish him the best. But there's still no confirmation as to when his final broadcast will be. That's yet to be determined, I would assume. And with that, because I don't really have a lot of any other news, with that, we're going to go to AEW Dynamite. And thank you for being with us with Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and
Taz.
Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. And thank you for being with us.
Do you want to say your goodnights, Michael, before?
It's a game of the imagination.
AEW?
I do. To my girls, Christy, Crystal, Megan, Amanda, Mackenzie, Noah, Caitlin, I'm glad you're all back and back safely, and that you had such a good time at camp. Like I always say, I consider you a blessing in my life each and every day, and hopefully we will see each other tomorrow. Sleep well, rest well. Good night, my angels, and we'll see you tomorrow. Now, let's go to AEW.
Okay, open up.
God damn it, come on.
I think last Wednesday night, since we missed AEW, MJF is part of the Hurt Syndicate.
Well, yeah, then I did actually know.
AEW's Fire Fest is coming your way for the next 4 hours live on TBS and Max from colorful Denver, Colorado, the beautiful Mission Ballroom. I'm Excalibur, joined by Ian Riccaboni, the Human Suplex Machine Tag, and we are absolutely loaded here tonight, including Kenny Omega with his AEW National Championship on the line in a 4-way match against Brody King, Masquerade Dorado, CMLL, and Claudio Castagnoli. Plus a very rare single match for John Moxley, non-title, but it is about respect, it is about pride, as John Moxley will face that man, Martin Let's go. Here's tonight to kick off the action. And there we see the rival, the AEW World Champion, that briefcase, which we can only presume holds that AEW World Championship title belt. It will not be on the line here.
I thought he lost the title.
Eliminator scenario. We'll touch more on that later, but timeless. Tony Storm, AEW Women's World Champion, will be in action tonight, teaming with Mina Shirakawa to take on Sky Blue and Julia Hart with the CEO for Cindy Monet joining us at the desk.
You want me to call in? Well, you've got me. And tonight, you can have a front row seat to my match like you in Denver. So bring a snack and enjoy the elevation, for I am the next mountain you must climb. Until then, my tits will be taped up and I am ready to tango.
Timeless Tony Storm ready to fight tonight in Denver. But right now, let's head down to the desk, or excuse me, to the ring, where the ineffable Tony Schiavone is standing by.
And let's begin our 4-hour telecast of Fyter Fest by bringing out the Aerial Assassin, Will
In Ring of Honor, we've heard Will Ospreay last week trying to play peacekeeper, trying to mend the fences between Hangman Adam Page and Short Strickland. It did not go well.
It didn't go the way that Will wanted. Taz, it was a plea for unity and peace and togetherness up against the Death Riders.
Yeah, you got to give Ospreay a perfect on that. It failed miserably, but I like the fact that Ospreay tried to get some continuity with those two cats, but it didn't happen.
Okay, Will. Last week, after Dynamite, something occurred. We showed it on Collision. Let's show a portion of it right now. I want to get your comments about it, if we can show it.
Excuse me, have you had a second to think about your answer? Can you work alongside Ospreay and Hangman to take out the Death Riders?
We're not a team. We're not a squad. We never will be. One question now. Who's the bigger threat? Death Riders or Hangman? With this whole little team, the squad that you're trying to get together to go against the Death Riders, I did that already. Anarchy. I'm done with it. You're delusional, man. Oh, done too.
Of course, ended up, we heard you saying same team, same team. That got pretty rough back there, Will. I want to get your reaction to what happened.
Mate, it's embarrassing, just because I don't never want to have a fight with Swerve. He's been my friend for about 12 years. I've known him since I was 20 years old, Look, it's not my brightest idea to try and get Swerve and Hangman on the same page. I mean, they actually hate one another, I can't even stress that enough, but I just think they're not the enemy here. The enemy's Jon Moxley. And I just can't help but think, if they could just put aside their differences for just one bloody night, retrieve the belt, then kill each other. Do you know? Jon Moxley has said on this show he hates what AEW has become. I've got a fantastic idea, John. Piss off then. Because people like myself, like Hangman, like Swerve, like Tony Storm, like Kenny Omega are the reason why AEW has momentum again. The only reason AEW sucks right now is because you're our world champ. I've given Hangman Page my word. My word means something. I will play a part in ensuring that world title comes back. Last week I said to Swerve, who's the bigger threat? Hangman or the Death Riders? And I can't help but feel maybe Swerve's that threat as well. Hangman said that he doesn't want to see Swerve as world champion. I get the same thing. Swerve wants to do the same thing to Hangman, and I can't let that happen. So if I have to be the one to stop you, hey, if I don't step in, Swerve ain't got a house, full stop. So here's what's happening. Swerve, listen to me and listen to me clear. I love you, brother. I seriously do. I would take a bullet for you in a heartbeat, but before I would take a bullet for you, I would take a bullet for AEW. So next week at Summer Blockbuster, I'm calling you out for a fight, lads. Ospreay versus Swerve 2. Who's this? I'm sorry, Tony.
What in the hell are the crew interrupting Will motherfucking Ospreay?
Analyzing prospect.
What's wrong, Denver? You ain't happy to see us?
Who's that? Leo Rush
Mr. Bruv, this whole
and
little powwow you got going on
Andre
right
Reddy.
now with Tommy Schiavone, it's real cute and all.
Andre Reddy, is that? We've heard him. Action Andretti.
Hey, Denver, in Colorado, I'm gonna need y'all to do a crew a favor and shut your damn mouth. Hey, talk to him, Leo. Ospreay. Wow, a true grit. Hey, I love it, man. I love it. It's clear that these people love it too. But listen, if there's one thing that I know about Brits, it's that they like to talk a lot. And you out here doing a lot of yapping. Hey, Denver, we just got off a 14-hour flight from Japan. And my boy right here, Action, and he's chilling tonight. But me, I got a little bit of pent-up anger and a point to prove. Because I personally think that the worst thing about AEW is your dumb ass.
You got a bit of pent-up anger, have you? Well, Leo, I would love to help you get that anger out because tonight, we're sold out, baby. I've got me fake tan on, bruv. I've got me crime-fighting pants upstairs. Anyone want to see a Will Ospreay match tonight? How about the Leo? Tonight, on Collision, let me get in my crime-fighting pants and I'll see you in the ring, brother. I'll see you then, boss. Hey, Swerve, and I'll see you next week, sunshine.
Very full dance card. Leo Rush tonight and then throwing out the challenge for Swerve Strickland next week in Portland, Oregon. What a rematch that would be, a dream match. Dream come true in Portland. Well, Will Ospreay going to have his hands full, but as it is Mark Briscoe, let's take you back to words from Mark Briscoe this past weekend about his clash with Jon Moxley coming up next.
Wednesday night, 6-man tag team action. I took an L. Jon Moxley, you caught me in your little bulldog choke. Ref call for the bell, ding, ding, ding. It happens. Now, Thursday, my 5-year-old son comes up to me when I get home and he said, "Daddy, did you quit last night?" I said, "Son, no, I did not quit. I will never quit. You win some and you lose some in life, but you never quit, and I did not quit. But you see the predicament I'm in now is my kids are doubting me. Mox, I want you, one-on-one, Denver, Dynamite. This ain't about that title you got. This about something bigger than that for me. So I'm going to
his opponent.
Does he still have that AEW?
Yes, it's in that briefcase.
So let me just take a shot in the dark here. He's one of those champions that never defends it.
Yep.
Either that or he defends it like 1 or 2 times a year.
1 or 2 times a year.
Your opening contest is set for one fall. Introducing host from Cincinnati, Ohio. Weight 231 pounds.
Did you know that they want somebody
Elite
wrestling
Wrestling
champion for a while? They never have you defend it.
As we know that Jon Moxley typically is never one to
And
shy
I'm
away
glad
from
for
a
Adam
fight.
Page who won that match.
Every time you
And
see
he's facing
him in a singles match, he's been compelled to an AEW World Championship.
So he's not going to defend
Then
it.
he wants to level. Moxley accepting this match with Mark Briscoe speaks to the respect that Moxley has for Briscoe and his accomplishments. I don't disagree. I mean, any time you're going to face a competitor with the experience and the intensity and the violence level of a Mark Briscoe, you know you're in for a long night. So I think that man right there, the world champion Moxley, he's well aware of that. And he's got, Marina out here, and he's also got you around here. He's always got like a little bit of a backup plan, Ian, as we know.
Absolutely, and these 2 men traveled in concentric circles as their careers grew, both becoming champions. But right now, the man you see there, 6-0 in 2025, 10 straight singles wins, unbeaten in singles action Excalibur since forming the Death Riders, looks unstoppable right now.
Reach for the sky, boy.
And the interview from Sandy Fort, Delaware, weight 221
And the extra point, Jon Moxley, since winning the World Championship, he's had a death grip on that title. He's been unstoppable, a steamroller at the singles wrestler. While this match is not billed as such, you would have to imagine if Mark Briscoe gets the win here tonight. If he pins the AEW World Champion, he would be in line for a shot, functionally eliminated match.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark Briscoe, Taz, you know it, I know it. Mark Briscoe fights hardest when family is involved.
Absolutely. He felt embarrassed because his son, you heard what the man said if you were watching. He heard, he felt like his son felt like he, meaning Briscoe, gave up. So Briscoe's motivated to whoop the ass right now of Moxley. And look, as you said, Excalibur, Moxley being a world champion, anytime you get in the ring with the world champion, you have a great opportunity. No matter if the title's on the line or not. You get a victory, submission, or pinfall victory on the world champion, dude, that is a major thing.
And speaking of the World Championship, it will be Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page on Saturday, July 12th, all in Texas. We head to the Globe Life Field in Arlington, where Jon Moxley will put his AEW World Championship on the line against Hangman Adam Page, 38 days away, part of a huge week of action in Texas as Jon Moxley bailing to the outside.
Well, it's just, Moxley basically, when you do that, you're telling your opponent, I'm going to dictate the pace. Briscoe not going to have it. Briscoe following Moxley.
Oh, big right hand.
And Briscoe applying that redneck come through as he calls it, blistering the chest of Mox.
And Mark Briscoe has those frying pan-sized hands, delivering now under the jaw.
Yeah, heavy hitter for sure. You're right, Ian. And you see those blows raining down on the head of the champion. And Ian, you mentioned how Moxley and Briscoe's career were in parallel paths. It was Moxley, though, as a singles wrestler. It was Briscoe as a tag team wrestler alongside his late brother, Jay Briscoe. By his own admission, is still in the formative years as a singles competitor.
Absolutely, less than 18 months down this singles journey, he's already captured the Ring of Honor World Championship, and now in there hanging with the AEW World Champion.
Briscoe venturing out into the Continental Classic, the inaugural version of that tournament. Right now,
Commercial
return
break
fire,
for
elbow strike into the face of Moxley.
after this match.
Now looking for submission, but Moxley still on his feet. Taz, small move right there by Briscoe, in my opinion, to get himself a real choke. And now he transitions to a side headlock and slips through a little baseball slide out.
Didn't you say something about popcorn?
Oh, fuck. when a commercial comes on, I'm making some popcorn, and I'll put up the dishes at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, an uppercut. This might be Mark Briscoe's best move here, Excalibur, to stick and move, the quick movements, the quick traits.
I forgot to make you some
Often that John
popcorn. I'm
Moxley
so
finds
sorry
his
for that.
equal in terms of
Why not? I
striking
forgot
inside the
too.
ring, but I think Mark Briscoe is very much on the level
now
of what
thought about it.
Moxley shutting Briscoe down with that high boot. Well, both these athletes have a plethora of experience, all over the world, so you deal with, when you're dealing with someone like that amongst each other, it's tough to outsmart your opponent. These both have decades of experience. Big match experience, too. Moxley grabbing at the face of Briscoe. Referee Paul Turner calling for the clean break. We noticed that Marina Shafir, Wheeler Yuta at ringside. Of course, Claudio Castagnoli will be challenging Kenny Omega for that International Championship later on tonight. But Claudio will be the only one. Brody King and Mascara Dorado of CMLL will also be involved in that four-way match. On the throat of Briscoe, you see on that bottom left, but all of Mox's weight on the back of the neck. That's tough for Briscoe. You can see in the Mile High City here, too, gasping for air, not only from the throat taps, but also in the waist, trying to get the oxygen going. The altitude is tough. I've wrestled in Colorado many times, and it's definitely a difference on your cardio. No matter how well prepared you think you are, there's nothing like training, competing at altitude. As Moxley dragged to the outside, Briscoe. Great opening here, picking up momentum. Briscoe, the scissor kick through the ropes, down goes Moxley. So orthodox is Briscoe, dangerous competitor. Unpredictable guy. He was looking for his elbow. Really, you're getting that hand stopped. Oh, Briscoe crashes and burns. Well, Mark went for something big right there, and as you said, man, crashed and burned. That's the risk. It was that momentary distraction by Wheeler Yuta and allowed John Moxley time to recover. Look at this, Marina Shafir. She's coming into the ring. Referee Paul Turner. Yuta. Referee never saw what Wheeler Yuta just did there, obviously, too. Paul Turner can help. Yeah, contending with Marina Shafir on the opposite side of the ring, and Yuta sending Briscoe face first in that steel ring post. The Death Riders on the outside certainly could be the difference here tonight. Finding ways to affect Briscoe in the margins. That has been John Moxley's reign as AEW World Champion, his fourth reign as World Champion in its entirety. It's the Death Riders affecting the proceedings. I think that's why what Will Ospreay has been saying and preaching has become so important. Briscoe, no. Just like we're only a few days removed from Double or Nothing, where Briscoe was in that brutal ambulance match with Ricochet, and he was covered pretty much head to toe in his own blood. Covered is a statement. It looks like Moxley's trying to get more crimson out of the body of Briscoe. Moxley using the point of the elbow to widen the gaps on the head of Mark Briscoe. Fans don't go anywhere. The opening content of Flutterfest continues on TBS and Max.
It's got the most famous trophy in all of sports, right? This is why they play the game.
Including the slow boost.
Carolina underperforming Florida badly. But where they're doing well is the upper Midwest, and that is still the key to election victory for the presidency for the Democrats. And you have you have a bunch of really viable candidates.
Well, except the mistake I think you're making is that in primaries, people don't think that way. They think about candidates, they want vice presidents, they think about that.
Fair.
And honestly, I have no idea whether Gretchen Whitmer would run or not, but she could certainly get on the on the ticket as vice president for that very reason.
Yes.
But running, I don't know.
You better bring someone good to be Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is charismatic, very popular. He's in Florida, which is a huge, it's hugely important state.
I think the fact that he
He
won
is
so decisively.
He's got a big deal.
He's tough.
He's also palatable. He's not
Well,
he's
well,
palatable.
if you
defining palatable is not Donald Trump that he's palatable.
Yeah.
Define palatable, which might be, by the way. If you define palatable as where he is with the American people on issues, he's not there.
He's extremely far right when it's not grotesque. And that is the difference. In my mind.
Jared, yeah, I agree with you. He is the odds-on favorite, not just for the nomination, I think, today, but also for the presidency.
So do you think he could get the nomination from Donald Trump?
I do today. I do. I think the Republican Party has showed its cards. Now, Trump is not going to go out without a fight. He's going to come out at Ron DeSanctimonious. I guarantee he can't announce well.
Right.
And he's going to bloody this party desperately.
I don't threaten to form his own party and all that kind of stuff.
I think the chances, by the way, of Donald Trump being indicted increased today as well.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because if he's not the face of the party as much as Biden going after the face of the party, he's number one challenger. I think the chances of him being
The
indicted.
parties will get the Republican Party is getting its time.
If I could get in anybody's head today, it would be Merrick Garland.
Yes.
And I think you need the Republicans to turn against him. You need him to be Julius Caesar getting stabbed by his own. And I think that's what's happening.
You think Mitch McConnell wants anything to do with it? He hated Donald Trump. He hated Donald Trump for 6 years.
That's right. But the party was captured.
Yes.
It wasn't willingly in Donald
Yes.
Trump's embrace. It was
Yes.
captured, and now they can sharpen their knives and say, this is our opportunity to kill this tyrant.
So, final thing. If there's a runoff in Georgia, which it looks like there's going to be, I think for the Democrats, the way they're going to campaign, it has to do all about the Supreme Court. That what they're going to say is that there are 6 members of that court right now that are locked in, that are against everything you believe in. And if you don't turn the Senate and make it, if you don't maintain a 50-50 margin so that the vice president's a tiebreaker, then any nomination the president makes is going to be blocked. And then if a Republican gets in, it could be 7, it could be 8, and people are going to get scared. And I think that the Supreme Court, it could be determinative in a
Are
runoff.
you saying they should run
On the Supreme Court.
on signaling that they'll pack the court, or just that
No.
But holding the line means nothing.
No, it's not only one. Somebody could die. I mean, that's the point. Somebody could die.
Yeah.
You want to get, and you say, look, there are some old members of the court. I mean, Clarence Thomas is older, and you could say if something happened where he wasn't on the court and there was a nomination, you could get this a much more even Steven kind of thing in the court. And if you don't vote for Warnock, then you're going to probably block any nomination Biden would make.
They should do that.
And I think people are going to be scared of that.
Yeah. I think there's something to do that. I also think, I mean,
If they gesture towards court packing.
one of the, that's
No, I'm not talking
I
about.
agree.
yeah.
If you're shopping while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast, then you know and love the thrill of the hunt. But are you getting the thrill of the best deals? Rakuten shoppers do. They get the brands they love with the most savings and cash back. And you can get it too. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores like Macy's, Adidas, and Walmart, and even stack sales on top of cash back. It's easy to use, and you get the cash back through PayPal or check. The idea is simple. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. So download the free Rakuten app and never miss a deal. Or go to Rakuten.com to start getting the most bang for your buck. That's Rakuten. Rakuten.
Okay, let's move on. This is the year for TV reporters to dig buildings. I'm telling you. This is so. Melinda Gates. We
It's a reference to Gloria Singleton.
I'm going to get it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Melinda Gates, obviously divorced Bill. She is, I think she's the richest woman in the world.
Or McKenzie. Bezos.
Well, it's a horse race.
She's got enough to make a man comfortable.
There's some Waltons in there, but yeah, she's in the top 10.
So she is dating, pretty seriously it seems, a guy named John Dupree. John Dupree was a TV reporter.
Fox News correspondent.
Fox News, but he was Fox News correspondent early on in Fox. I believe he was in Los Angeles, although I got kind of mixed signals looking at this, but I know he was in Utah as a TV reporter and other places. So,
handsome, very intelligent.
very intelligent. By the way, I don't think he is conservative, Fox News conservative. He's a communication strategist now in his Twitter account.
Right.
He doesn't look, he's not aligned with Fox
Sure.
News. But, well, the other person who was, and it's so funny because initially we had heard he was with KTTV. It's unclear. He was like, that's the Fox affiliate in Los Angeles.
It is.
You know who else was in the Fox affiliate in Los Angeles?
Lawrence Sanchez.
Lawrence Sanchez was in the Fox
Oh,
affiliate.
so she and John Dupree, and she's about the same age, coming years younger, right?
Right.
She probably knows John Dupree, right?
But I don't know. I couldn't figure out whether he was ever.
If there's overlap.
No, it was weird. I've looked at his LinkedIn account and
Oh my God, what they dated.
I know.
What they
I
dated.
was about to talk about Dupree and Lawrence Sanchez.
And they
Oh my
hatched a
God.
plan to each go out.
At the time, the judge is in the world.
oh my God, I love that. Incredible. An entertainment reporter and
Cut this out, we're gonna write the script. Don't let anyone know.
Anyway,
What a long play.
they've been dating for a couple of months, so it seems actually like it's getting kind of serious. They've been in
It
vacation.
is interesting, just the Fox News thing. I know we don't, he wasn't aligned with the Fox News and their politics, but
I mean, it's really interesting. And his LinkedIn account, it says Fox News, and then they give examples of what he did. The Alaska plane crash.
Right,
He
right,
didn't
right.
get near politics in that.
But Melinda Gates, famously one of the most liberal people in the whole wide world, and it's interesting. It would be fascinating if he is conservative and she's with a conservative.
I don't think
We don't know his politics though, right?
Well, I looked at his Twitter account. I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but I don't think he is. So Kyrie Irving met with Adam Silver.
Yeah.
And supposedly they had some of the reports say a productive visit. What does that mean?
Well, it means that Kyrie apparently said all the right things.
Like what?
I don't know.
If Kyrie Irving would not acknowledge that the
It's
Holocaust
hard to come back
existed,
from that.
what did he say to Adam Silver?
It's hard to get back. So Adam Silver had laid out 5 or 6 criteria or benchmarks that Kyrie Irving had to hit in order to be allowed back in the league. And there were things that were really hard for Kyrie Irving to swallow, from full acknowledgement that what he said was wrong, full throated apology, an acknowledgement of the inaccuracies that are and
A $500,000 donation.
a $500,000. That's
Which, by the way, the ATL wouldn't pay.
No, I'm sure there are plenty of charities that would be happy to take his money. I thought it was weird by the ADL. I thought it was weird not to take his charity, given that he just pocketed. I don't know.
I didn't find that weird at all.
I guess
They
not.
didn't want it.
I didn't find it weird at all.
I guess not. So he had to meet all these criteria, and given where he came from, where Kyrie Irving came from, and the things he had said and the points you were making, how do you walk those back effectively? How do you come out and say that in some or substance, I dispute whether the Holocaust happened, and then apologize and say I don't dispute whether the Holocaust happened, which seems to be where you're
I think Adam Silver, as commissioner of the league, though, can't be seen as sort of
too hard.
malevolent and too harsh. He has to handle this with grace and civility.
Adam Silver came out guns a-blazing.
He did.
After Kyrie Irving after the first failed apology.
He had to show he was angry. But he
Yeah,
now
I
has
think
to
you're- but
I manage the situation, doesn't he?
You're not taking one of the genuine steps.
No, his anger was real because he said your apology doesn't cut it, and he was very, very sort of.
We're basing this on reports. I'm not convinced these reports are accurate, that Adam Silver said, yeah, this was pretty good. I just don't hear.
What is productive?
I don't hear Kyrie Irving saying, yeah, I should have answered the reporter's question. The Holocaust did exist. Here are the things that I disagree with in that documentary. I just don't think he said that.
Yeah, look, here's what we know about Kyrie. Last season, he dug in his heels on the vaccine
Right.
and sat out most of the season. So he's not a
And
guy who
$17 million
for wins a ton of money. He's not motivated solely by money. He does like to sort of show a certain stubbornness and a self-righteousness about the things he believes in. So it's not clear he fell on his sword, but if he does, I think Adam Silver has to sort of open himself up to
Here's
reintroducing Kyrie into the league, I think.
Here's why I have an issue with this. If he really did a mea culpa with Adam Silver, then that should be mirrored in the next news conference that Kyrie Irving has. And if reporters start asking him those questions, and if he really did answer it a certain way with Adam Silver, he has to do the same at the news conference I don't see it.
Yeah.
What if he does? What if he does?
What if he does?
What if it's absolutely unambiguous? The Holocaust happened and it was a tragedy. It was an actual part of history.
And look, that's great, but I'd like to ask, why wouldn't you say that before?
Yeah, he will have to reconcile that.
Why wouldn't you say that?
Can he claim ignorance? Can he claim like I wasn't raised? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. Kyrie's a dipshit, but he's not stupid.
Yeah.
He's actually a very, very smart guy who can, I think, is bright enough to to reconcile these thoughts and say, here's what I was speaking to.
Or Jason, he believes it.
Well, in which case, good for him. I don't begrudge Kyrie Irving whatever he wants to believe. I really don't.
Well,
but
definitely
you can't play in the NBA anymore. The NBA, look.
I mean,
John
you got to like at a point acknowledge that he sent that tweet out. He would never, he never really took it back, and it's an extremely anti-Semitic film.
Yeah.
So,
but don't you think there's a question? Is he going to go what I call full Kanye, where he goes on multiple programs and defends the point of view, or is Kyrie at a point where he can still pivot to sort of saying this was all wrong? I was laboring under this impression.
He has so much to lose. Kanye lost a lot. I don't think he knew how much he was going to lose going in. Kyrie will never step foot in an NBA court again if he goes full throttle.
That's right.
And
I have enough money for many generations to live and be fine.
I guess so. Unless he doesn't.
He lost a Nike deal already.
He lost all his games. He had no sponsorships anymore.
right, but he made that clear that there are certain things he believes in that
That he's willing to.
that are bigger
In which
than-
case, despite the abhorrence of his views, good for Kyrie.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're betting that
I'm
he
not
will
saying
say,
good.
I mean it in that.
I know what you're saying.
Believe what you believe. Don't kowtow to it.
you respect his convictions?
I do. I respect his convictions on it.
Yeah, these are nasty
I'm
doctors'
sorry.
stories.
I'm sorry.
I don't respect it, but
The people who are saying I stand with Kyrie on this, you know what happens. I mean, again, folks, if you're listening to this, watch Ken Burns, The U.S. and the Holocaust. Watch this documentary on PBS. Watch this documentary. There are things you don't know about what happened in America and how anti-Semitism works and how it becomes a precursor to a lot of really bad things. Beyond just Jews, a lot of really bad things. And you watch this documentary, it's going to open your eyes. I'm telling you, I thought I knew a fair amount. I learned so much from this documentary that was just shocking. And it's a piece of art, and you should watch.
One piece of trivia. The Semitic people, Jews, who else was Braves or certain people.
Oh, right. Anyway, wow, that was a kind of a random way of ending it.
Yes, it's not that random. Semitic.
Potato. Beautiful.
There we are. God damn it. Here, let's try this.
So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you
I
notice
might have to make use of
around 7.5 times more page engagement.
Our two stops right here because they're gonna be like, John, what are you doing? You already had a snack.
Hold on. Stop, slow down. I can't understand you.
I'm going to wait until Mr. John or Bree leaves the house so I can make you some popcorn.
No, don't do that because by then it'll be too late and bitch, piss, whine, complain. I don't want to hear it.
Okay. How about tomorrow we share some popcorn, okay?
Okay, sure.
Flavor of the Cantina Chicken Burrito for less. Choose your Lux Cravings box only at Taco Bell.
AEW's Fighter Fest is live from the Mission Ballroom, Denver, Colorado, and we are witnessing Jon Moxley taking the fight to a bloody Mark Briscoe here tonight in our opening contest. This has become personal for Moxley. You mentioned Double or nothing. Briscoe emerging from the ambulance. And that struck a chord with Moxley. It was the referee stoppage last week, Tab, that struck a chord for Briscoe. Heavy feelings in this bout.
Absolutely, but the feelings are covered by Moxley. The feelings right now for Briscoe is he needs to find some kind of energy. And he seems like he's trying to maybe feed off the live audience here in Denver. He needs to start now to come back here as we see it, Cal.
Yeah, we saw it. It was 1 week ago. Briscoe, he was locked in the Bulldog choke. And it was a referee stoppage. Briscoe didn't quit, but that's a hard distinction to make to a 5-year-old. Briscoe's son said, "Why'd you quit, Daddy?" And Briscoe, to prove to his son and to the world that he will not quit in the face of Jeopardy. He will not quit in the face of John Moxley. And Marky's got to be loving this right now as the world champion's heading to the outside. Briscoe, he's going to be on the hop here. Briscoe building up momentum. Briscoe landed hard on top of Moxley. He's not done. Watch him fly right here as you see on the replay. Taking out Moxley right on his head. Crazy psycho man from Delaware. Redneck Jones, Mark Briscoe, trying to ride this wave of momentum. The lateral press, Moxley kicking out. And how quickly the tide has turned after that risk, it certainly paid off. Sometimes when you get split open and you're bleeding, it really brings something out of you, and you just become kind of different than you normally are. Even when you're intensely, it just goes to a new level. Taz, I think Briscoe's have to approach this with some urgency. Of course, we mentioned how the blood loss that affects your cardiovascular system, but also the altitude. Time, I think, is Mark Briscoe's biggest enemy in this match, and this is a match with John Moxley. Yeah, no, you're right. Right now, getting it better with those forearms is Briscoe. Puts the midsection up by Moxley, changing levels. Absolutely, Moxley quickly changing the direction of this bout. Hammer thrown to the ropes, reverse, chop to the chest, delivered with authority by Briscoe. And this man Briscoe gets so good. His ability to change the direction on his side with the quick chops, the move, the elbows, the forearms. Moxley taking off his feet, but he was the first man back up. You see Briscoe. Yeah, for Briscoe, we could be playing possum here. Sure thing. He was trying to bait Briscoe in.
Oh, that's another thing we forgot to mention. R-Truth. Ron Killings, R-Truth, K Quick, however you remember him. His contract is up. He's done with WWE.
Same with Carlito.
And Carlito has also been released. So whether they show up in TNA, AEW, or decide to retire, I guess we'll find out in the next few. It should be an interesting few weeks. Let's go back to Dynamite.
Briscoe weaves underneath. Oh, wait a minute. Kind of butterfly the opposite calendar. The double under Briscoe looking for Jay Driller. But Moxley, well aware. And short arm lariat. Now Moxley looking to butterfly the arms of Briscoe. Maybe take a paradigm shift. Briscoe returns fire. About snap play. Great counter by Briscoe. Briscoe absolutely needed that there. Pointing to the heavens. This match based on family, driven by family. We take a look there, but it's Briscoe climbing to the top. Briscoe could be poised to deliver the froggy bow to John Moxley. Briscoe takes flight. Froggy bow. Moxley was ready. Dan Briscoe inadvertently put himself in some very deep water with the world champ. Yeah, sure thing. Got the legs in right away. Now Briscoe's definitely in trouble. As if Mark Briscoe wasn't having enough difficulty catching his breath now. He's trapping that wrist. So Briscoe can't break the grip. Now maybe he's going Juji Katami here. Oh, full extension. Briscoe's got to get to the ropes, reaching out. It's scooting over and does. A tip of his toe on the bottom rope to force the break. But Moxley holding on
trying to inflict as much damage as possible. That hold does not have to be on long to tear someone's biceps, so hopefully that's not the case for Mark Briscoe.
And almost nursing it on the way out to try and get a breather. Oh, no, and it's Yuta.
Yuta hammerlocked the arm, and oh, for the second time, Yuta playing a role into this match. He was the man that sent Briscoe into the ring post that opened up that wound at Briscoe's head. Referee never saw it. And the referee now is yelling at Yuta. Now he doesn't see what Marine is doing. This referee was trying to contain Moxley. Thankfully for Mark Briscoe, just returning Briscoe to the ring. They don't like Yuta here at Cannabis Central.
To be sure, they don't want Yuta anymore.
Oh, wait, Briscoe!
Goes through with that Death Valley driver. Now, normally he'd pop right up to the top rope, Excalibur. He'd look for that Froggy Bone Sand. Look at this.
The arms, the double underhook.
Briscoe spike, but he can't capitalize. He's right there, Mark. He's right there.
Beleaguered Briscoe covers 2, 3. No! You would know better than I, but I think that's the first time I've seen anyone kick out of the J Driller.
That is the first time, as we take a look at the replay, the fingers like that picture, perfect timing the world champ on his head, and anyone in AEW is kicked out of the J Driller.
Oh, now Briscoe. He could be thinking cutthroat driver.
That was supposed to be
Briscoe has only pulled this move out 8 times in his
Down to the
career.
next match.
Now looking for the 9th. No, Moxley. Oh, his arm ringing. Good counter by Mox to slow down Briscoe. Oh, stopped his head.
Skull driven into the mat. Can Moxley find Briscoe? Oh, Taz back to the choke.
That's the right thing to do. He's trying to get that bulldog choke in again, and he's got it. And this is the hold that led to a referee stoppage 1 week ago. Moxley changes grip, floats over.
And Briscoe trying to find a way out back to his feet. Vertical base now.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we're counting here. Let's go. Drew and Moxley. He'll get him. I thought maybe he got him. No, Moxley just barely rolled through.
Trying to lock the thing. Oh, and the bicep grip here, Taz.
Yeah, well, he's doing a lot of transitions, Moxley, some different holds. I say stick to one and keep it on. He had that bulldog choking good, but then he transitioned, which I don't know. Paul Turner calls for the stoppage. Jon Moxley.
The AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley.
Well, Mark Briscoe, he can hold his head high, and he took Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion, very nearly to Moxley's limit.
And honestly, at points in the match, Taz, it felt like it was 3-on-1. It felt like Jon Moxley had 2 partners on the outside.
It definitely did. I mean, you're not wrong. You know, that's what happened. A lot of that interference helped him, for sure. Fans, this is the start of a huge summer for AEW Fighter Fest tonight. Next week, Summer Blockbuster, 4-hour special live event from Portland, Oregon.
4 hour.
Then AEW heads to Mexico City and Arena Mexico, the cathedral of Lucha Libre for Grand Slam Mexico. And right now, let's take a look at the talisman of ZMLL Místico.
Místico is something special.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom in my bedroom. Be right back.
We're gonna have to wait until Grand Slam Mexico to see Místico compete inside an AEW ring. He'll be joining us next Wednesday night at Summer Blockbuster, live from Portland, Oregon.
And 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business. Today on the TNT Podcast.
Welcome to the TMZ podcast. Derek, Jamie, and Eric here. You got the power trio. Yeah, 2 guys, 1 thing.
Yes.
Let's do this.
All right.
Let's jump right in. Dave Chappelle, tell us about it.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle is going to be hosting SNL on November 12th, and people are not happy. So So according to some sources, a lot of the writers are boycotting. They don't want to do it. They're not interested after all of his homophobic jokes. But apparently none of the actors are boycotting.
This is fascinating to me because Dave Chappelle hosting SNL, it's happened before. It used to be one of the most highly anticipated, exciting events. Dave Chappelle was like a king of comedy, and now he's radioactive. Writers don't want to write for him. He's become this controversial figure, given his comedy about trans issues, and people think he's transphobic and so forth.
And there is a non-binary trans writer on the show.
Yes.
Yes.
Celeste.
Yes, it's a writer, and there's also, I believe, a trans member of the cast. Is that not true?
I had not heard that.
Non-binary. There is a non-binary member of the cast as well. So this issue is at the forefront. I think SNL is at this weird inflection point where it lost a lot of cast members, and a lot of people think it's
seven from last season.
something like
7 or 8.
7, and core members. All they
Yeah.
have sort of for continuity is Keenan at this point, and Chris Regg's gone. All these people are gone. And so Dave Chappelle coming should shake things up, get you some ratings, get you some anticipation, but it's really backfiring.
Well, I feel for these actors because the actors, these are their dreams. They get cut left and right that first season. You do not want to piss off King Lorne. If King Lorne says that Dave Chappelle can host, then you need to do what King Lorne says. So even if they have these opinions, no one's going to stand up and say anything. You don't throw your career away.
Well, that's the thing. It's definitely not going to be the cast because the older cast members have worked with Dave multiple times now, and so they probably know him and are like, "Oh, okay, we're okay with it." Because most comedians did stick up for Dave.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but those new cast members, they're not going to say anything.
This is really like a generational clash because Lorne Michaels is quite old. I don't know his personal feelings on cancel culture and wokeness, but I would venture to say he's kind of like Harvey, like sort of sick of it and doesn't want to like cancel guys like Dave Chappelle who have been good to the show.
But Dave Chappelle's hosting SNL. Where did he get canceled?
No, fair. Although
writers don't want to work on it, they don't have to. And this, remember, very recently last season, Elon Musk, a lot of people on the staff had issues with that and boycotted that.
They only got jokes about it on their show.
Through the history of the show, back in the 90s, Andrew Dice Clay hosted, and some of the cast members refused to be in sketches with him. So
True.
There's a precedent for this.
Yeah, I think the tolerance for going forward though is less than it used to be. It used to have like a controversial person come on and maybe get some headlines, but you wouldn't have writers sit out. I don't remember that. Do you remember writers sitting out a week because of the nature of the views of the host? I don't even remember that for Elon. Like, did people sit out for Elon?
No, but this was Elon pre the current monster he is. I think if Elon today,
he was sort of coming to be a monster, but he wasn't quite alive.
his crown wasn't fitted yet, but like it was at the shop. But the thing, it is so interesting because obviously the things that he said, all the homophobia, transphobia, terrible. But then there is the argument of like, well, what's comedy and what's allowed and what is art versus what is hate.
Especially on Saturday Night Live, which has a record of being offensive itself sometimes.
Yes.
Pull up some old sketches and see how well they hold up.
Oh God, the things that everybody just cross-dressing, this and that, and they would never do today. But it is. I feel for the writers. I feel for the performers. It is a weird spot to be in.
Let me ask you a question. So in this episode, is Dave Chappelle going to lean into the controversy, which he sometimes likes to do? He's not a troll, I wouldn't say, but he's not afraid of ruffling the feathers. Or is he going to do a very safe show?
No, it's sort of become his brand since the closers, especially he did. Like his stand-up now, he talks a lot about the gay community and the trans community. Like, and he has leaned very hard into it.
Okay, so then my next question is, will the performers who sounds like are going to go forward, even though some of the writers who they stand in solidarity with are sitting this one out, will they dutifully perform whatever Dave Chappelle wants to do?
Nobody doesn't want to talk to us tonight on YouTube for some odd reason.
No.
Some sort of stereotypical gay character.
I mean, there's no comments like from Mom, Megan, or whoever.
Well, the show's not over yet. And my world is behind this. So.
Your TBS champion, the CEO, Mercedes Moné.
The number one contender for the AEW Women's World Championship, the woman that will face timeless Toni Storm at All In Texas on Saturday, July 12th. Mercedes Moné joining us here at the commentary desk for this next match on Fighters Bet. It will be timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa taking on Julia Hart at Sky Blue. Next, live on TBS and Max.
Dedication isn't born in the
Zelix.
There's no such thing as lost souls, demons, or magic.
You sure about that? Our mission is to protect powerful magic from getting in the hands of evil men. I am the librarian. Charlie here is my guardian. Come on, I'd like to our
We've already nailed down the wording. One impossible thing at a time.
The Librarians, all new Monday after playoffs coverage on TNT. Set your DVR now.
Welcome back to AEW's Fighter Fest. We are live in Denver, Colorado, and we are joined at the desk by the TBS champion, the #1 contender for the AEW Women's World Championship, Mercedes Moné, who will face Timeless Toni Storm for that AEW Women's World Championship on Saturday, July 12th at All In, Texas.
That's right. And you know what? Since I love serving lunch and getting up the competition, I think I'm going to enjoy this match way better with the table for one. Boys, bring me my table and my steak. Come on, let's go. I ain't got all day. I'm taking for one, you can, okay? Take me on it. Sonny, let's sit over here.
I would like my own table with steak. That's a huge steak. That's huge. That is really
From Stage 7 at Warner Brothers Studios, she is the AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm.
always great seeing the Timeless one. The four-time AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. That's a female here and everything. Did we? I didn't know we could do that. I knew that we had steak and casual pizza bagels and catering.
Did we restart Dinner on a Movie here on TBS? What's going on? Well, they will face one another at All In, Texas.
There's little pigs in the blanket too, catering. I didn't see no filet, no red salad. What's going on?
Joining her from Tokyo, Japan, Mina Shirakawa.
Mina Shirakawa was the last woman to challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship at Double or Nothing. Really getting Timeless Toni Storm. Hell of a battle, but it was the embrace after the match. I said, that show that it was.
Well, you've been watching the celebrities Wheels of Fortune, and I've been just doing my own thing anyway.
Yes, I know. Mina was doing this crazy dance. Toni Storm was dancing, and she looks repulsed, meaning Mercedes. I don't know if it's Mercedes or if it's Mercedes
Oh, Julia Hart.
The team of Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
Julia Hart
Yeah, I don't
and
think
Sky
I've
Blue
ever seen Sky Blue.
returning from injury and really targeting both Mina Shirakawa and Timeless Toni Storm. This Sisterhood of Evil here. It's Thursday, and it's a welcome time to see Sky Blue back from injury.
Returning to the side of best friend Julia Hart. I couldn't help but notice at ringside, Mercedes Moné Taz not giving a match of this magnitude perhaps the respect and deserves. You can see it in the shot there, just texting, fixing her hair.
I think she's doing one of those top ticks.
I've heard of that.
They have that on phones now. Yeah, I know. Crazy. I'm looking. She's looking at herself. I don't know what she's doing. She's got numbers and videos of her face. It's wild.
James, we do apologize. The headset from Mercedes is off, but a great tag team match on the way, Excalibur.
Yes, Sky Blue trying to strike first with the high boot. Mina Shirakawa able to avoid contact. Now the reversal. Mina sent into the corner. Sky Blue a step too slow. Mina connects the big elbow strike.
Being so out.
That wraparound kick there, just almost Almost like Mercedes is inconvenienced.
It's
There's four great
disability, but
athletes here.
at least
Almost
he's
just like
trying his
my
best.
games on the side rushing next week.
Well, you gotta have your mind on the lady to my right here, Mercedes World Championships, if you're one of these four ladies in the ring.
Timeless Tony Storm now working in concert with Mina Shirakawa. Little back elbow, and now Tony Storm giving a little boost to Mina. The splash now. Storm covers. Sky Blue able to kick out.
Yeah, you can see right. Well, she's got a little maybe Merlot going on here, or a little Shiraz. What do you think that is? Like Cabernet Sauvignon.
But now Tony Storm, I can smell it from here.
You know your alcohol, that's for sure.
I might be able to detect tag made. I drink. Maybe that's about it. As Mina Shirakawa in there. It's a good old treat.
I thought I was looking at Taz, not Crowbar.
That's Mina Shirakawa. Wait a minute.
Now,
Up and over.
wait a second.
Sky Blue.
Yeah, Sky Blue, she felt the effects of that glamorous driver, Mina. She was able to flip out of it. Now, Sky comes in. Cartwheel into the elbow. Right, Julia tagged herself in. She knew Sky was in trouble. Good job by Julia. She came in quick with that elbow while Mina was trapped. And Julia, that running back elbow, keeping Mina isolated in the corner. No hammer throw reverse. Mina sends Julia in. Mina taking a moment to compose herself. Julia over the top. And Julia.
Ankles.
Little tarantula action here by Julia Hart. Of course, an illegal hold. Referee Stefan Smith calling for the clean break as Sophie Jones. She's got a lot going on at stake. People want it. And right in front of the number contender, Mercedes Moné, Sky Blue sending Timeless Tony Storm crashing the barricade. I think that was the first hint of a smile we've seen from Mercedes Moné as Sky Blue and Julia Hart tandem. Oh, boy, Mina got planted with that one. Brutal landing. As Julia Hart, Sky Blue with the advantage. Tony Storm recovering on the outside. Fans, this match continues live on Fire Fest.
You can go back to your regular life.
We are back live with 4 hours tonight of Fighter Fest action on TBS and Max. Mina Shirakawa fighting an uphill battle here against Sky Blue and Julia Hart. As we've seen, Timeless Tony Storm, the AEW World Champion, effectively neutralized on the outside. Yeah, she's been battered and beaten on the outside by both of her opponents. While that lady right there, Mercedes, looked on and enjoyed when she saw Tony Storm getting whooped out here. And here comes Mina, though. Number one contender for the AEW Women's World Championship, the woman that will face Tony Storm and All In Texas just 38 days from now is Mercedes Moné. And Mina Shirakawa, just when she thought she could get some relief, maybe a tag up from Timeless Tony Storm, Sky Blue, decking the world champ.
And look at this balance, the agility here from Julia Hart.
That excellent balance, to your point, Ian, for sure. Probably blow right to the back of the shoulder.
Julia the sliding lariat. Sky Blue, a running kick. Great rapid fire offense here as covered. Made and Mina.
Oh, good save.
Yeah, Mina just barely kicking out and Tony Storm is not enough. Adrenaline kicking in for the AEW Women's World Champion, but maybe set back down.
Julia, the back heel trick when she turned her back, rolling elbow straight from Mina. The back fist misses the hair pull, does not. Mina goes down.
And the look of exasperation has turned to consternation for the woman that will challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship at All In Texas.
I'll tell you, Mina has taken such pounding offense by Sky Blue and Julia Hart. I don't know if there's much left in Mina.
Yeah, Mina desperately needs a tag, but can she make that tag with Tony Storm just backed constantly by Sky and Julia, but Mina finding her footing on the top. She gets it! Almost like a sling blade from the top rope. Mina,
not sure she got it all, though, dude. I don't think she did. She may not have gotten it all, but she may have gotten enough. As Tony Storm reaching for the tag. Mina rolling. And Mina right there. She's right there. So close. I don't know if Mina realizes she's right now. She just showed up. I mean, she does. Makes the tag. And here comes the champ. Unloading both barrels with a drop kick. Sky Blue swinging a miss. Tony Storm on the fast press, and the right hand come raining down. The champ ready to turn the tide for her team here. And a sky high for Sky Blue victory. Oh, but the arm getting a back fist by Mina Shirakawa. Now's not the time to kiss. What are we doing here? Who's getting switch? Sky Blue Julia Hart trying to hold on with the German suplex. They shake the car. They go nuts. They got the kiss. Go shimmy a little shake. And a combo hip attack. Trading places. Just as devastating. Now Sky Blue, center of the ring. As Tony Storm looking for that TCM chicken wing. It is in. And Sky Blue is fading fast and tap. There it is, the win from Tony Storm.
And the AEW Women's World Champion, Tony Storm.
Well, a hard-earned victory for Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa and Taz. It all played out in front of the TBS champion, number one contender, Mercedes Moné.
Yes, Mercedes definitely not happy or impressed with this victory by Tony Storm and Mina.
Well, Taz, you may not be the romantic type, but I'm starting to get romantic about All in Texas, where it will be the AEW Women's World Champion Tony Storm against Mercedes Moné.
Both ladies team are right here, almost face to face. 38 days from now. I love it. Old school.
Kingpin Jones over there. Tony Storm. She will put that AEW Women's World Championship on the line against the winner of the 2025 Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. The CEO, the TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, and All in Texas.
That's a little bit of class, folks.
Ron's going to wash it down with some wine. Roll on Field, Arlington, Texas. You can still join us at AEWTIX.com, or you can see it on pay-per-view or Prime Video. All in Texas. But right now, let's head to the back. Our colleague, Lindsay Harris, standing by.
For the last break, coming up later tonight, you will be taking on Leo Rush, but it has officially been announced you versus Swerve Strickland in Portland, Oregon.
You want me to talk about? You know, it's not what I want, it's what deep down you need to understand, okay? I'm actually coming here to help you. You need to stay out of Swerve and the Cowboys business, dude. If you take Swerve out when he would have taken out Cowboy, his chances of winning the world title drastically go up. And to make matters worse, if you can actually get them to get along, well then, Cowboy's a shoo-in to win the world title. And last time I checked, maybe you don't remember because he knocked you clean the hell out at Double or Nothing, but you can't beat Hangman. And if he wins that world title, you're not gonna. Buddy, those two guys, they're animals. You know what you do with animals? You let them eat each other. That's dead cute, mate. That's lovely, right? Have you got anything more to say? Because I've got a match later on, and like this match, of course you're always thinking about yourself. Me, I'm thinking about AEW. I understand what's going on here. You don't want Hangman to win the belt. Do you know why? Because you have no chance of being Hangman on your best day. See you later, mate. Hey, quick question. How's your son Harry doing? Whoa. He's not. Mr. Ospreay. Yo, I'm just curious. Young Maxwell Jacob Friedman, or more appropriately, the Hurt Syndicate. We have business elsewhere tonight. Good luck to you in your match.
baby.
Well, it is official for next week. Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, part of Summer Blockbuster, 4 hours live on TBS, and we will hear from the Hurt Syndicate next on Fighter Fest. But fans first, DraftKings Sportsbook is official partner of AEW.
I didn't watch it
$5, get $300. Bonus bets if you win. Simply download DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code AEW.
I didn't know nothing about
DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
You said something about Double or Nothing, right?
I said, how long ago was Double or Nothing?
It was like May 28th. No, wait. May 31st.
And this is
June 4th.
Yeah, but I haven't been watching Dynamite for a couple of weeks before. So it's been like 3 weeks since I watched this baby. Has it been like 3-4 weeks?
Instantly.
7 days ago, you didn't watch AEW.
So it's only been a week.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a week for you that we didn't watch AEW together.
No, it's got to be more than that, because...
Seriously, you're not alien anymore?
Because Celebrity Wheel of Fortune has been on Wednesdays for how many? It's got to be more than a week.
The Greys implanted an inhibitor in me.
Anyway, regardless of how long it's been, it has to have been more than a week, and somewhere within that 2-3 weeks, whatever it's been, something about Will's son came up, and I obviously missed it. So now I'm dying to go back and see where he fits in to everything. Well, maybe they'll recap something. I don't know.
There he is, God of Love. True love is a myth. The Librarians, all new Monday after playoffs coverage on TNT.
The only guy that
TNT
can,
now.
please. I mean, you can still watch the show. I'm just coming right back.
I know, but I'll wait for you.
Okay.
Hope not. I hope out of his brain. I don't think he will do that exactly. But remember last time he hosted in 2020, he just kind of went off script a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
He dropped the N-word several times, just kind of threw the cast off, which normally Lorne Michaels bans hosts for ad-libbing. He hates that because he's like, this show has to work by people sticking to the script. Yes. But Dave Chappelle's always gotten past with that. Yes. So what is he going to do? My sense is he won't do it. He won't do a safe show, but when he did his comedy special that was so controversial, he made a note of it that he said, this is the last time I'm speaking on these issues, so I'm going to give it all out in this one special. And everyone said, oh my God, that's horrific. Or a lot of people said, that's horrific and we want to cancel you. But he did say, I'm not going to become this kind of comedian who just traffics in comedy that is good for shock value. I don't think that's what Dave Chappelle wants to be. He wants to be he does not want to be a shock. He doesn't want to be Andrew Dice Clay. That's not his thing. I hope so. But this is the thing for SNL. So it's interesting. There are all these reports that the room of writers.
Welcome back to AEW Fighter Fest, where we are about to be joined by the Hurt Syndicate.
Tag Team Champions, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Syndicate.
Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, absolutely dominant.
Yeah, I remember that.
Tag Team Champions.
That one was May 25th.
It was so difficult to dethrone, especially with the conniving MJF in that corner. We saw for a minute there, looked like Lashley and Jeff going to go out. Instead, Dustin Rhodes really ate that.
That was Dustin Rhodes, right? Yeah.
The massive flash. MJF fitting right in with MVP Lashley and Benjamin.
Maybe a little bit of a stumble, but like you said, Taz, really finding that groove and how he can help the Hurt Syndicate, which to me has been the question mark. And I think we're starting to see it bear fruit as this relationship grows.
Bobby's from these parts here, meeting Lashley. Hometown guy. And I think like that moment between Bobby Lashley and Will Ospreay. What a tantalizing prospect that is.
They're cheering those two, and they're seeing
AEW viewing audience, this is an official announcement from the Hurt Syndicate. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to address my brother Roberto. You used to live in the Mile High City. But I have to ask you, I gotta know. Now that you live in Texas, what's your opinion of Denver? That's why the Almighty left this place.
We're celebrating President's birthday tomorrow.
But look, let's get down to business. This is AEW.
Wait, we're
Celebrating President's birthday tomorrow.
What does she want for her birthday?
Her birthday's on Sunday, but we will celebrate it tomorrow in case you guys want to make her something or get her something.
I'll make her something tomorrow at the Havens.
Okay. Good night, y'all.
Nighty-night.
good night.
We're the best wrestle, and I'm standing with the absolute greatest tag team that ever existed in the history of the sport. You can put together your dream team of tag team champions, then, now, from this company, from any other company, from the universe, and they couldn't remove the championships from the waist of these two mega stars. So I'm forced to ask, if this is where the best wrestle, where are the best tag teams to challenge the champions? Why is everybody so absolutely terrified of the standard of excellence and the Almighty? Where are they? You know where they are? They're in your imagination because they don't exist. There is no one. Let me say that one more time. There is no one capable of beating the standard of excellence in the Almighty for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And now that business is done, I would like you all to show respect to the young genius, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. It's all yours, Max. Thank you, Martel. So appreciate some silence while I'm speaking.
Let me go get my charger before my computer dies.
Okay.
As you dumb schmuck.
We're sort of not participating and sitting this out. Dave's rep says, actually, I went there. The room was full of writers. They all pitched ideas and seemed very excited about it. And Dave's looking forward to having some fun. So there are different stories out there about the level of boycott we're going to actually see. And it's hard to know because they're writers. So if the performers are there, it's going to look like a regular show.
Well, the room can still be full of writers in several or not.
Yeah, but obviously the meeting with them, the show's airing in a couple of days. It's being written and rehearsed right now. So if there was a huge issue, they would know.
Yeah.
I think that's right. And he's been on the show before, so he's I think he's got a feel for it, a little bit of the pulse of like what SNL is like in normal circumstances and abnormal circumstances.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's going to get good ratings. I think you're right.
People
It's gonna
know
create a lot of curiosity. All right, let's move on to Kanye. We haven't talked about it for a while. So.
Yeah, Kanye. Well, we're talking more about Adidas right now because they are going to be selling Yeezys. They just aren't going to call them.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing
So
tomorrow,
this is
but
the-
I might be hanging out with my mom for a little while.
So he owns.
Yeah, in case she wants me to help her with the groceries tomorrow.
But most of the designs are
Probably
probably
the trademark.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the design is owned by Adidas. So they're going to keep selling these shoes that look like Yeezys. They just can't call them that.
They won't be branded as such.
Yeah.
They'll just be the design. The design's very popular, right?
I'm cool with it.
But who for Adidas, and they're going to lose what $500 million in the next year, I think. Yeah, that's the splitting ways of Kanye. Who's the audience for this? Because Kanye fans are not going to buy non-Yeezy Adidas Yeezys.
And are probably bad at Adidas.
Yeah, they're boycotting.
Yes.
And
Adidas fans don't want the stick of Kanye on their shoes.
right, so it's who are you pleasing?
Okay.
Yeah, you see, it's all about it.
Have
Yeah.
your new color?
I agree.
We're still live.
Okay, here we go.
Already know I want gold, just like my best friends Bob and Shelton have. I want back my AEW World Championship. Which means, like all those marks in the back, unfortunately I'm gonna have to start wrestling a little bit more. I'll get over it. Which brings me to Mexico. Now, apparently, the countrymen of Mexico believe that their top guy. Hey, stop being rude and show some respect to the young genius. Mexico's supposed top. I'm not going to. Shut up. Mexico's supposed top guy is Mystico. Mystico, your country believes you're the best wrestler in the world, and well, that can't be true because I am. The best wrestler in the world doesn't hail from Mexico. He hails from the only country that's worth a damn, the United States of America. Now, Mystico, when I stepped foot into your quaint little country, I sold out your historic Arena Mexico. Matter of fact, matter of fact, I am the youngest foreigner ever to do so. And do you people know why I was able to do that? It's because, unlike all of you poors, I'm a megastar, baby. Don't believe me? Happy Gilmore 2 comes out July 25th. Now, Mystico, I know that you think you're a Lucha Libre legend, but you know what? I'm the youngest foreigner ever to do so. And do you people know why I was able to do that? It's because, unlike all of you poors, I'm a megastar, baby. Don't believe me? Happy Gilmore 2 comes out July 25th. Now, Mystico, I know that you think
Yeah, and
you're a
he's
Lucha
playing-
Libre legend, but you know what I think, people? I think you're just a big fish in a small.
You know that
sinking
original guy who
pond.
played Ethan? He's playing him.
But I'll tell you what,
Oh.
I'm feeling philanthropic, Montel. Not that any of these morons watching at home or in this arena knows what that means. It's not in their vocabulary.
I'm gonna watch your match, Mystico, and if I think you're worthy, then maybe, just maybe, I'll let you wrestle me at Grand Slam Mexico. Because when it comes to the Syndicate, it ain't personal. It's just business.
Wow, talk about a tantalizing prospect. Mystico and MJF potentially in the offense. Wait a second. Speedball Mike Bailey.
I forgot about this guy.
Return from Japan, Kevin Knight. They're set to compete in a trios match here next. Yeah, well, the 3 men in the ring. These guys on the ramp might be a little bit ahead of their skis, in my opinion.
Not only MJF is in
what is this? We got White shown up.
we got
Bruce Leroy,
Becky
and
Lynch.
we got the Blue Ranger.
Really?
What are we doing? What are we doing here? What do you morons want? MJF, you disrespect Mystico. You disrespect Lucha Libre. You disrespect me. Pero sabes lo que pienso de ti. Que todo lo que sale de tu sucia boca es pura basura.
I believe Commander just said that everything that comes out of MJF's mouth is garbage.
Hey, así que voy a enseñarte a respetar la lucha libre, cabrón.
I mean, I can translate that like hard.
And to the truth, though, I can say that.
Écoutez bien, mes grands calices de tabarnak. You said you wanted the best? Well, in front of you is a group of international killers.
Whoa. Now, Maxwell, I know you may be a little bit uncultured, slightly unseasoned, so you may not understand what my compadre just said here tonight. So I'm gonna keep it real short and sweet for your simple ass. Hurt Syndicate, we get it popping right here tonight, here in the Mile High City, baby! So wait. You guys want to match tonight with the Hurt Syndicate? You want to run here in the Mile High City? You want to see it? Is that what you want?
No.
Absolutely not, because you guys haven't earned it. If you would like an opportunity to stand up against the tag team champions, why don't you guys impress us by earning it?
Hurt Syndicate. Not giving the team of Jet Speed and Commander the time of day here.
Oh, Luke, I forgot about this guy. I love him.
This trios match stemming from what occurred this past Saturday at Collision. Bruce released the goal and
What's on that Saturday?
and AR Fox is Speedball Mike Bailey Commander
Was
coming to the aid of Top Flight and
it
Fox.
was on? Oh wait, yes, it was, but it was on. I wasn't sure it was 1:30.
For this match here
I'm
tonight
not
at
gonna stay
Firefest.
till 1:30 in the morning.
It's about built on a grudge that is just a few days old. But certainly, we've seen Jet Speed Commander not be afraid to jump into the deep end.
Yeah, no, it doesn't take long to build some animosity towards someone or a group of guys, and it's definitely hitting that right here in this match that's about to go down.
Yeah.
I noticed at the top of the ramp as the Hurt Syndicate was making their exit, Roosh shared a tense moment with the Hurt Syndicate. Which
certainly one way to describe it. His philosophy is no pasa nada. Nothing matters. Essentially, nothing matters until he says it does. He controls the ring, controls the pace. One of the longest reigning Ring of Honor champions ever. One of the biggest stars in Mexico before committing full time here to AEW. Taz, just a dominant force.
Well, that's great confidence by Roosh. I'm not shocked. I mean, I know the guy personally, and he plays no games. That's what he's about. Oh, Bayley just got nailed. Big fans, we are entering the second hour of 4 straight here tonight. Fyter Fest live on TBS and streaming on Max. And this trios match raging as Jalisco sent a commander into our announce desk as Kevin Knight just almost. Oh, wait a second. Knight went head first into the desk courtesy of El Toro Blanco Rouge as Speedball Mike Bailey defeats Mordo.
Commander driven skull first into the steel. And there is Bailey go ninja go.
As Kevin Knight just returning from competing in Japan, the best of the Super Junior tournament, where he wrestled 12 matches in 25 days. Finishing tied for second place in his block, tied with young Nick Wayne. The prodigy of AEW is Roosh now with that camera kick on Speedball Bailey.
And this is where things get out of hand. LFI likes to take the matches to the outside, Taz. This is where they get control. They thrive in chaos.
Yeah, and he's, right now Roosh is obsessed with trying to get Kevin Knight's face permanently part of this announce desk. I lost count of how many times he ran to get his face in. Commander turning the tables on Trilistico as Kevin Knight into the ring. Arm drag takes down Roosh and Speedball Mike Bailey on the attack.
Jet Speed working as a unit here.
And in comes Commander getting the boost. Roosh goes down. But it caught Roosh a bit low, but now the cover made 2 and able to kick out.
And I like that call by Aubrey because that was not intentional as the tag is made. And obviously, Taz, Roosh fights dirty, so you got to fight fire with fire.
You're supposed to fight dirty. I mean, this is not, you're trying to win, you're trying to make more money. I mean, if you can take a shortcut, take it. I mean, I don't have a problem with that personally. Right now, Roosh has got to get out of that corner. He's not wrong corner for sure. Snap back from Speedball and Bailey. Drop kick, side of the head on Roosh. And Bailey doing a good job of keeping his eyes on La Facción and Gobernable.
The toxic.
You see the bottom of your screen, the Toxic Spiders Heckler. Arrived at AEW 1 week ago, making an immediate impact on an attack on Jamie Hayter. She will be in action later tonight. We'll also hear from Hangman Page as Mordos, the distraction, creating the opening, and Bailey going down as LFI on the hunt here.
And it's time to build his teams. We see with our partners at CMLL, when there's an opportunity for these rule breakers, they take advantage of pull 3-1.
Mordo's kind of
Who translates literally to the ungovernable faction.
Black
Audrey Edwards is finding out firsthand just how tough it is to enforce the rules when LFI, when Roosh, Trilistico, and Mordos are involved. Yeah, they really have singled out Bailey here, and they do a number on him.
Ooh,
and it's
my
almost
mom.
genetic for Trilistico and Roosh.
Oh,
goodness.
Black Mordos.
Their father, La Bestia del Ring. Wow. Carved a legacy for himself.
Literally translating to the beast of the ring.
Yes.
And now the other beast, Mordos, the grip on some people on the way LFI.
This
carrying Bailey all around the ring and sending her to the outside, crashing to the floor and his own partners. And fans, don't go anywhere because this trios match continues live as part of a 4-hour broadcast of Fyter Fest on TBS and Max. Welcome back to AEW's Fyter Fest. An explosive trios match underway. La Facción Ingobernable. LFI, Trilistico, the Beast Mordos, and Roosh just taking Speedball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander to task here with Bailey. Perhaps an opening to make a tag.
And from defense into offense, tag me.
Commander, the Gary staggers Mordos, and now, oh, look at Commander off the shoulders into a DDT on Trinistico. Unbelievable. And that he has the deja vu. No, Commander up to his and right on top of the head. Wow. And the top press, the cover is made, and Trinistico kicking out. The man is on fire here. El Fuego. As Commander to the top, lands on his feet, Trinistico. Underneath the hand,
Commander out on his feet. And now serendipitously landing toward the corner. Knight with the outstretched arm here. The match resets. Both men trying to get to their corners.
The two heaviest hitters for their respective sides, Kevin Knight and Roosh, on the verge of entering the fray. Now they're in, and Knight goes right at El Toro Blanco. Yeah, I'm not sure this is the right move here by Knight, trying to go toe-to-toe with Roosh. But he's doing it. Good for him.
And Knight has had something to prove. Since graduating from the New Japan Academy, since coming up as a young boy, since coming through, making his name in Japan.
Trinistico, or excuse me, Roosh, punishing. Knight there in a big rolling right hand. Down goes Knight. And Kevin Knight, he's put on size lately. I mean, since entering AEW, it's been noticeable, but he's still lacking in size to this man. You may be prepared to deliver the those horns.
You mess with the ball, you get
on the jet. Temporary respite with the flat of the boot from Roosh into the face of Kevin Knight. A lot of impact right there. Knight didn't expect it. Roosh showed it off. Showing how great he could be, and Knight felt it.
Savoir-faire, that signature hallmark of LFI.
I don't believe savoir-faire is a Spanish word.
Romance language. But just the carefree violence that LFI can deliver. Whoa, wait a minute! Oh, that's a strength. You talked about the size of Kevin Knight.
And Roosh feeling it firsthand as the backbreaker very nearly getting the win for Jet Speed and Commander.
Oh,
He also grabbed at his knee real quick in that kid because that was a nasty knee strike. I was going to say, in a backbreaker, it could affect your own knee. Especially a man the size of Roosh, 240 plus pounds. Coming down, and now things breaking down to LFI. Referee's in a tough spot here to control. It's his heart. This is where they shine. La Facción Ingobernable breaking the rules. As Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, and Commander. Wait a second.
Wow, cascading drop kicks.
All three escape. And LFI on the outside. Bailey, Commander, and Knight on the inside. Great job here by those three men. Jet Speed and Commander regaining the momentum here.
I'm sorry.
Hangman Commander.
Jesus Christ. The show's halfway over pretty soon anyways. I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ. Hello. Great, good for him. You know what? It's kind of late, so
Make them comfy and I'm sign me up.
I hate it. Makes me sound sort of strident about these things, but I don't think you can pull the stink off of Easy Shoes just by saying they're now called, the
Breezes.
Yeah, they're Breezes.
I like
Like they will always be seen as Yeezys. The swastika will always be seen as an emblem of the Nazi
All right, well,
Party.
I would like mine without swastika.
Yeah. You want to run those out?
Yeah.
Do you have this one? Yeah, just sort of down on the heel. Do people love
love the designer shoe so much they really just want it? Or was it just because they love Kanye
Well,
and his shoe?
I never bought it.
They have evolved so much now that then they got so weird and plasticky looking. The original ones, all brands make little knockoffs of them. When they were just kind of what kind of fabric was that?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It became a very big trend.
Foamy ones look like melted crust.
Yeah, I don't
What?
think-
I'm telling you, you go to Old Navy and you're gonna find a $5 knockoff of it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it, yeah.
you are.
You'll find the cheap melted crust.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I've seen
know,
them.
I guess. But yeah, there's these shoes, like, I don't know who Adidas is going to be pleasing with this. Kanye fans will not support this. People who hate Kanye will not support this.
Right.
Well, you
So,
certainly
you got to pick a master to serve, right? And they're serving nobody.
you can't sell them for as much as you would for Yeezy for Kanye's name, I would imagine.
But why not just depart? You've made the decision, which is very difficult, hit your bottom line very hard to cut ties with Kanye. You have to cut with Kanye. You have to go through the painful process of, pulling your brand and disentangling yourself. It seems like they're kind of trying to,
Well,
chart a
don't you
middle
think
path.
we have warehouses and warehouses full of shoes? I don't think they're gonna be making like.
So you think it's just
Fake
moving
too.
the existing product,
Yeah.
the inventory.
Well, yeah, they've already lost a huge chunk of money. You're not going to just eat the cost of all these shoes sitting in the warehouse.
Yeah, I think
So you
they're
think
sitting in
just the
warehouse.
inventory, but they won't make any use.
I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
Adidas took, like, when all the Kanye things started coming out, the anti-Semitic stuff, people like roasted Adidas because it took them, a weekend to cut ties with it, which seemed like a long time in social media time. But in business, 2 days is not a whole lot. So yeah, obviously all these things were already in production. They already were looking ahead at what they were going to be doing in 2023. So now they're saddled with this.
Right.
What do we do?
A lot of people will be okay. I mean, the Adidas shareholder is going to say, you have a responsibility as a company that I invest in to sell your product and make money for the bottom line. So they're going to give them a pass. They're saying, look, it doesn't line Kanye's pockets. It just gives money to Adidas shareholders. So we're okay with this, and you actually have a responsibility to do something with the inventory. If you burn it in a bonfire, you're just burning down.
Yeah.
So interesting. I think morally they're going to have a tough road.
It will be when you see people out wearing post Kanye Yeezys.
Yeah.
What do you think about that person? Not even good or bad.
Well,
just
unless Jamie comes in her.
Yeah.
We're going to have a live experiment of her Jamie's house.
If you're shopping while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast, then you know and love the thrill of the hunt. But are you getting the thrill of the best deals? Rakuten shoppers do. They get the brands they love with the most savings and cash back. And you can get it too. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores like Macy's, Adidas, and Walmart, and even stack sales on top of cash back. It's easy to use, and you get the cash back through PayPal or check. The idea is simple. Stores pay Rakuten for sitting on shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. So download the free Rakuten app and never miss a deal. Or go to Rakuten.com to start getting the most bang for your buck. That's Rakuten. Rakuten.
All right, let's move to another story. So Peacock is releasing this documentary called Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies. Obviously, the true crime genre is huge in the wake of Dahmer and all the other true crime series. They want to capitalize on it. This is about Casey Anthony, the very famous case where a mother allegedly killed her toddler child. It wasn't an infant, it was a 2-year-old.
And was acquitted.
But Casey Anthony has been very quiet since then. He's given a few comments, but no live interview appearances. And during this trial, her most vocal critic, when it was all the rage, I mean, this was big like Natalie Holloway. This was all over the news for a period of time. Nancy Grace, a former prosecutor who's a talking head and talks about like legal cases, would just rip into Casey Anthony. Call her horrible things.
It became Nancy Grace's claim to fame.
Yeah,
When I think Nancy Grace, I think Casey Anthony. They're
Top
so intertwined. Yeah.
Yes.
Top mom.
Yeah, that's right. So Nancy Grace would rip into her. So obviously this thing coming out, people are curious, well, what do you think of it? She doesn't have very kind things to say about it. Take a listen to this. She was on TMZ Live.
Because they're gonna make money. That's why they're doing it. And it's on us whether we watch it or not. And I would like to point out that I was contacted by this group when the director was still working on it to have a sit down with Top Mom Casey Anthony under these conditions. And I said, absolutely not. Because when I learned I couldn't ask the questions I wanted, I couldn't control what was happening, no way. Because she's gonna do exactly what we predict. She's gonna have softball questions and lie her way through it with no one to test her, such as under cross-examination.
the old prosecutor in Nancy came out. She used to try cases, and she's, to her credit, she's not. She's true to her word. I like Nancy Grace because she believes these things, and she also was unwilling to sit down for the interview. She was on here sort of like I sat with her, but I got the questions in I wanted, and you knew she was sort of paid to be involved in it. It would feel different, but she said no. I actually refused to because they wanted to do kind of a puff piece or something that I wouldn't want to participate and have my name behind. And she's true to her word.
Well,
she wanted to
she
Casey Anthony.
obviously very clearly believes that Casey Anthony murdered her child.
Yes.
So you have to have some sort of conviction. You don't want to help make money for somebody that you think did that. You don't want to help them rehab their image with the public. If you really believe they did it, you're not going to be involved in it. And she's not.
Do you think
I can
there's
respect that.
any chance that Casey Anthony comes out of this looking better?
Yeah, honestly, this sounds insane.
Yeah.
So this case was 2011.
Yes.
People soften if you don't really remember, if you weren't following it that much, and you just watch this, you could, oh well, maybe she didn't. Or you could start to feel sorry for her because she's controlling the narrative.
I just
right.
think the narrative-
Because we watched the trial and you remember this.
The facts are facts that she didn't contact anybody. Her kid was missing for 30 days.
And she'll have some sad reason why.
I'm interested though. I'm interested.
And I do think
How she coped with it by partying and so forth. Like there were
I do
factors you have to wrestle with.
To Peacock's credit, I do think it's interesting. The title of the special is Casey Anthony, Where the Truth Lies.
Yes.
Is it saying, okay, this is the truth, that she didn't do it, we're going to reveal it? Or is it implying that Casey Anthony is the truth and she's lying?
Yeah, if you're doing, don't put the word
Yeah, Casey
lies,
Anthony, Where the
please.
Truth Lies. Like, that almost tells you with the title, she's lying to you.
This is just.
I mean, it's kind of saying that.
It is such an odd move on her part that if, let's say she truly didn't do it, she's been laying low in Florida for years. Why would people finally have forgotten her face? She can go to Trader Joe's and get some whatever.
That's the thing.
Why?
Why dredge this up again?
Oh,
Weird.
I don't think she leads a normal existence. I think she's a pretty distinct looking person, but when you see her,
She
things are
is.
sounded like kid murderer.
But it's been over a decade at this point. I imagine that has lessened.
No,
I think
no,
more
no.
like-
Has
She
it changed
wasn't.
with
She wasn't.
OJ?
OJ. Casey
OJ
Anthony's not
was
OJ
a
Simpson.
very
He was already
famous
very, very famous.
Football player, actor. What are you
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
This was a pretty high profile.
It was not.
Darren,
OJ.
you see her at Macy's and you think, did I go to college with her? You don't go, hey, there's a chick that killed her kid.
Yeah, or you think like, or I would think like, that lady looks kind of like Casey Anthony.
Hey, remember
But if
her?
I see OJ scrolling it, I know it's OJ.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like only celebrities can have horrible cases follow them around. People who are just involved in court
No,
cases
it-
become iconic.
it does
themselves.
follow
The
her,
Night
but-
Stalker, Jeffrey Dahmer, these are figures that
I would not know the Night Stalker at Trader Joe's.
You wouldn't?
No.
What if you waited to? You saw the picture on his.
Is
Well,
it
he's
you?
dead, so you probably get a little
Yeah.
weird.
Oh my God, skeleton.
No, I'm saying she will always be Casey Anthony, but I'm sure it's much less now than it was a decade
She
ago.
looks
So why put your face back on this
Yes.
special and why do this? to
And
yourself?
apparently she's not being paid by Peacock. Obviously she will make money off of licensing the photos of
Of
Kaylee and, all
she'll
the
make
different
money.
people.
Maybe she's just doing it for money. But
Well, that'll drag her through a whole other news cycle. She's monetizing her murderous, like,
But that's the thing. So
Escapade.
obviously the two things are either she did it or she didn't. If she did it,
and she's the only repository of the truth.
yeah. But I'm saying, so if she did it, why would you put yourself back out there and do this again? If you didn't do it and you went through all this, why put yourself out there and go through it
For a
again?
whole new
Either way,
generation to judge
I
you.
don't
Yeah.
understand. She wants to clear her name. And look, she must look at the landscape and say, wow, this Jeffrey Dahmer series just cultivated some sort of begrudging sympathy for a monster like Jeffrey Dahmer. A lot of people had problems with that because they said it humanizes him. It gives a whole long arc, and all of a sudden Jeffrey Dahmer is this sort of strange but maybe tormented soul. And you naturally, when you watch someone on television, you feel empathy. You don't just feel anger. When you watch someone for a long period of time, it's impossible to hold all those negative feelings the entire time. She's thinking, look, this will soften me. Nancy Grace is not going to pepper me with questions. I'm going to get to just tell my story. You can't do that in the courtroom setting because Nancy Grace or the prosecutor gets to pepper you and show all your inconsistencies. She's got a friendly documentarian that's going to allow her to elaborate. I think she thinks it will improve her image. I mean, maybe it's just a cash grab, and that's certainly what Nancy thinks. It sounds like what you guys think, but she may think this will soften her image. I think her image is worse than you guys think. I think this woman roams around Florida and people yell like, "You disgusting murderer," and she wants to improve.
I'm sure they do, but I think it's fewer people now than it was in 2012.
Yeah.
So why rile up those other people?
Introducing
And it
yourself
could
to a
get
new
worse.
generation.
Yeah. Why?
Let me remind you of the facts of this case.
Yes.
That's a totally fair
Yeah, it's
point.
like, no, I'm Casey Anthony. You may remember you from such a murder as Haley.
Yes.
You know, well, don't do that.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of Troy McClure to it.
A little bit.
All right, well, we'll see. I mean, look, we're going to see it live. Are you going to be interested in watching
I am, and that's the thing that I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Somebody tell me while I'm sitting in my Yeezys.
It's also
No.
Well, you're going to be DVRing the Dave Chappelle thing.
Exactly.
So much good content.
Another sad story. Shall we just go to more sadness?
Yeah.
Eric Carter. So this story, it just keeps getting sadder. So apparently he never had a closure conversation with his brother Nick and his twin sister Angel. They were estranged at the time, but apparently Aaron felt that they were on good terms when he had died. So a lot of messiness went on over the years. Nick and Angel both had restraining orders against him. He had threatened both of their lives.
Yeah. Nick said that Aaron had threatened to kill his
pregnant
wife.
wife. And then he had said he was going to send hitmen to Angel and her family. Big old buckety up mess. But apparently Angel had got word to Aaron somehow. I don't know whether that's through a friend, whether they were not supposed to be in contact according to the law. But she had got a message to him that she wished him well, wanted him to get healthy, and apparently that brought Aaron a lot of peace. So when he did die, he felt that they were on the road to repairing their relationship.
But Nick never felt that.
No, but we know after Aaron died, when Nick performed with the Backstreet Boys, said how he always loved his brother and always, they had the problems, but he loved him.
Yeah.
I think you can love your brother and feel the need to protect your family when your brother
Absolutely.
goes off the rails. It's a very, very sad story to feel that emptiness and the loss. I mean, it is his baby brother. I take him at his word. I don't think there's any insincerity. with
That's
what's
your
going
brother,
on.
but addiction is real and mental illness is real. And at a certain point, you have to protect your own family over.
I guess for silver linings in it, that Aaron maybe felt that they were in an okay spot before he died.
Exactly.
So this was that. And Nick probably knows that.
And that's comforting, I'm sure, to Nick, even though
Yeah,
he didn't feel they were
and
in a
Nick
good
probably
spot.
knows that they were as good as they could have been. Because I think had they been able to have that closure conversation, they wouldn't have had those problems in the first place. I think, had Aaron been able to get himself together and keep his head right and stay clean, there wouldn't have been issues between them. Nick would have happily gotten rid of restraining orders and been like, okay, you can welcome somebody back, because I think, I'm projecting here, but I would assume Nick and Angel knew that it was the addiction.
Of course.
Yeah, and if Aaron could conquer that, then all is forgiven.
I'm sure Nick knows that, but the survivor's guilt that Nick must be feeling must be tremendous, because much of Aaron's life was defined by Nick's success. Nick was out in front. He was a member of the Backstreet Boys. He sort of set the path of their lives, and Aaron was always seen, at least by the public, as sort of chasing his brother's fame, maybe riding coattails. He did have his own success.
He was successful, but his success was always so small compared to the Backstreet Boys.
Yes, and Nick is entitled to have his own career and pursue his own successes and accomplishments, but he undeniably is a source of a lot of what was going on in Aaron's head, and he knows that. Now, whether it was turned into addiction, I don't want to speculate on that. People, turn to drugs for all sorts of reasons, but there has to be an element of Nick blaming himself, and that's unfortunate. I feel for Nick because
he doesn't deserve that.
He doesn't
Because also
deserve
the
to
thing
feel
is-
that way, but it's impossible not to feel that way.
Because Aaron was 9 years old when he released his first album. Like, he was so young that you forget. Remember, Nick was the youngest of the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
He was 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And he was growing pains
Yeah,
and
so
nicotine
it was-
fame and success.
I mean, honestly, he's an example of like child star, somebody who managed to navigate it fairly well.
Yeah, and they had
I mean, he was one of the most famous people on earth before he was 20.
And they also, they had issues with their parents of being stage
Yeah.
monsters. And so Aaron really it is a fact though, the door was open because of Nick. And he was thrown into this role and he was famous. And I had a really good friend in high school who was his dancer while we were in high school. And the stories she would tell me were insane.
Aaron's dancer.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was Aaron's backup dancer. And the stories were insane, just even at 16 of like, oh God, going out and doing these crazy things. And when he died, she messaged me and all she said was, it's so sad that child stars don't get the help they need.
It's remarkable how we repeat these things over and over again, because there is a natural appetite for child stars. They will always exist, and every generation has their version of, oh man, I wish that person had some help. Will they find a better path? When we were growing up, it was Drew Barrymore, who was like the party girl for a while.
But she did rehab twice by the time she was 12.
But now that
Michael
Michael
Jackson
Jackson,
famously
she's like our America's Flower Girl. So some of them do find their way to like a healthy lifestyle, but some of them just don't. And
It's like for any child, famous or not, it's who you have around you.
Yes.
Any child who has horrible parents or people abusing them or taking advantage in some other way, whether they're famous or not, their life is still messed up.
Yeah.
you need someone to kind of be able to communicate. And Aaron didn't have that.
Bailey and Knight holding Mordos open, Commander. Whoa! Wait, what is this? Oh, wow. Assistant come right to, and Mordos able to kick out.
Might have needed every bit of that assist with the base sunk on Beast Mortos. Great attempt at a counter there.
Jalisco just drags Bailey out to the floor. Oh, a thrust kick. Drops Knight down to his seated position. LFI there was a triple offense on Commander. German suplex. Mordos off Commander. Samoan drop. And now Jalisco poised to deliver the champion on top. Commander down. 1, 2, but no! In time to break it up.
May have prolonged the inevitable though, as LFI Taz has a 3-on-1 advantage right now as Beast Mortos. Oh, wait a minute, Bailey.
We saw the 3-on-1 attack earlier on this man, Speedball Bailey, right here, but he's fresh now, hopefully for him. But Bailey converts the roll-up. Charlize to go there to break it up. But he turned his back on Commander for a moment, and Commander sprang into action. Now Commander dragging Charlize to go off the floor.
Great body scissors in it. Bailey.
The moonsault on knee drop, but Roosh there to break up the pinning predicament.
And it's Knight and Roosh locking horns.
Drop kick. Great timing, great extension on the drop kick by Kevin Knight. Roosh out to the floor, but inside the ring, Mordos, powerful lariat Taz. Yeah, big time, big man right there. Speedball giving up a lot of weight, and Mordos, he's gonna put the killing blow down here on Speedball, I think. Oh, counter. Bailey. Full extension on the thrust kick. He's got Mordos staggered, and now Knight with the assist, yeah, over the top. Jet speed working in tandem. Knight now legal. As Bailey, the time adventure. Mordos goes down.
Uh-oh, here's Commander. Excalibur runs to Lolita.
Neutralizing. Charlize to go to Roosh, opposite side of the ring. UFO from Kevin Knight. 1, 2, 3.
Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Blue Jet Kevin Knight.
A great victory for Commander and Jet Speed. As you see that UFO from Kevin Knight. What a return back to American soil. What a return back to competition here in AEW.
Absolutely built on persistence, on athleticism, and a very smart decision by Commander Taz to go to the outside, neutralize LFI, and let Kevin Knight hit that UFO to seal it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Commander did. It was very smart. Hold on, we got a visitor here on the stage. Oh, it's MVP's back. Not just one visitor.
A round of applause for these guys.
You know, I'm impressed because you got your asses kicked for about 8 to 10 minutes, but you had the temerity to pull it off in the end, and that counts for a lot. But you know what? You impressed me so much that you guys have won the prize. Next week, you guys get to face Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MJF in a trios match. But the beautiful part of that is you get a preview of that ass whooping right now.
These guys just wrestled that hard match. Oh my God. Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley going into the ring, but MVP, what about that offer for next week? A trios matches. Oh, Knight and Bailey have got the World Tag Team Champions reeling. They got to utilize their quickness. I'm impressed. Look at that drop kick. Pair of drop kicks. Commander. MJF's going in. Oh, wait a second, Commander.
Swinging it into Mason. Down goes MJF. Commander and jet speed. Guys are just too quick. Yeah, they got that Hurt Syndicate reeling here now. Done, they're not done. Wow, this is unexpected to say the least, Ian. Tell you what, this backfired for MVP for this challenge next week. Standing tall, Kevin Knight. Speedball Miguel and Commander. And some fiery tempers are erupting here. And their MVP throwing a challenge for someone blockbuster 1 week from time. Jet Speed and Commander to take on Benjamin Lashley. And MJF and Tony Khan has just made it official for next Wednesday night Summer Blockbuster, Portland, Oregon. Another great 4-hour broadcast here for All Elite Wrestling. And Excalibur, this is the first time ever that MJF has teamed up with Lashley and Benjamin. Well, that's a big deal, but I'll tell you, the bigger deal is the Hurt Syndicate just got embarrassed out here. Let's be honest. Well, can't wait for Portland, Oregon and Summer Blockbuster next week. But right now, let's turn it over to our colleague, Alicia Natu.
I'm here with Paragon and Daniel Garcia. Now, Adam, you've actually asked for this time, so the floor is yours.
I did. And Danny, I appreciate you giving us the time. And listen, I know we've had our battles in the past, but I would like to think we have a shared mutual respect for one another. But more importantly, we can't stand the Don Callis family. So I had an idea. I feel like later tonight, the 4 of us against the 4 of them, we whoop their ass and teach them a lesson. What do you say?
We definitely got some respect for each other, or something like that. But there's a lot of things that I want. Right now, getting my hands on the Don Callis family is number 1. So I'll see you guys out there, all right?
We'll see you out there, Danny. Appreciate you.
Huge news. You can get a setup for just $3.
I've got Christian Cage in the Patriarchy here. Christian, welcome back to Fyter Fest. Now, Nick Wayne had a tremendous showing at the New Japan Best of Super Juniors.
First things first, Denver, I realize the thin air up here cuts off the airflow to your brain, and it gives a great excuse for you all not being very intelligent. But even you have to be smart enough to realize when the patriarch appears before you, you sit down and shut your mouth while I conduct my business. And you're right, Lexi. Nick had a tremendous showing at the New Japan Best of the Super Juniors, but he didn't win the tournament. But he did have a grueling schedule. He wrestled 14 matches in 22 days. But no excuses, right, Nick? You see, that kind of schedule would earn anybody a well-deserved night off. But you aren't anybody, Nick. You are the son of Christian Cage. You are the Ring of Honor television champion. And tonight, we're going to keep the momentum going, because you're going to defend your championship right here in Denver. Great. You did this to me before I left, and it was light work for me. I mean, light work for me. Well, you didn't have me finish, Nick, because the stakes are a little bit higher this time. Because not only will you be defending your Ring of Honor television championship, you'll be defending it in a 4-way. Now, Shane, let's go find a place to lay down. I mean, actually, maybe we should watch this one up close. Don't worry. Chip's working on an even bigger surprise.
A daunting challenge for Nick Wayne.
Oh, before I forget this, next week, Mystico returns to AEW. At the same time that Mystico is coming back into AEW, Mariah May has now come to NXT. Her AEW contract is up, and Mariah May comes to comes to NXT. Well, next week Mystico returns to AEW when they're live in Mexico.
Out by Christian Cage, but right now, Platinum Max Caster has center stage.
Colorado! You are looking live at the best wrestler alive!
I like the part where he rhymes live with alive. Talented.
And in my hand is a petition acknowledging that Platinum Max is, in fact, the best wrestler alive. And Mr. Referee, I don't believe you signed this yet.
Well, that's a conflict of interest, right?
So please do me the honors and sign your name. And while he's doing that, I know all the Maximaniacs here in the Mile High City
Maximaniacs
want to do one thing and one thing only, and that's chant my name. Here we go. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. 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 I'll be honest, guys, that was bad. But tonight is the return of the 5-minute open challenge with Platinum Max. So right now, give me 5 minutes on the clock. And let's see who can survive 5 with the best wrestler alive.
I don't think it's ever gotten these challenges have been pretty quick this time, I believe. Pretty quick, and Max has not been on the winning side. Caster is, I believe, according to my record, 0-10 in these open challenges, and something tells me that there's a real chance of him being 0-11. Something was challenging.
Would you be like the AEW version of the Shield through the entrance like that?
Street clothes.
I don't know, dude.
Wow. Max Caster, 5-minute challenge, the clock. You see at the top of your screen. Stephon Smith calls for the ball, and Hobbs lowers the shoulder, takes out Caster.
The AEW Trios Champions does not work by the hour, Taz.
No need to. And the tough thing for Caster, he does these open challenges. He doesn't know who's going to face, so he can't be prepared. Where the guy coming out can be prepared. And Caster sinking down, crumbling in the corner as Powerhouse Hobbs. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. The eye poke by Caster, and now Max. Austin, wait a second, Hobbs. Catching that double jump axe handle attempt by Max Caster. And Well, 411's the time remaining. You might want to call 911. On the way up, Powerhouse Hobbs survives, the best wrestler alive. I don't know if Max Caster survived Will Hobbs. And fans coming up next, the AEW International Championship 4-way match. Hunter Casciola, Master of Dorado, Hardy King, challenge the champion, Kenny Omega.
At Burger King,
Ask your dermatology specialist about Nemluvio today.
It's got to be the most famous trophy in all of sports, right? This is why they play the game. To lift it for a moment, to keep it for a day, to be on it forever.
Welcome back to AEW's Fighter Fest live in the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, and we are on the precipice of our AEW International Championship four-way match.
This is a four-way match for the AEW International Championship. Introducing the challengers first from Van Nuys, California, weighing 285 pounds, Brody King.
That was the voice of the WWE for Justin Roberts, and that behemoth you see before you is Brody King, who defeated Josh Alexander to qualify for this match. It was a hard-fought, scrappy, but Brody King more than able to set. Absolutely.
Terrific championship pedigree and tag team action, but I believe we're at the event horizon of the black hole. And the Gonzo bomb that could carry Brody King to a championship here tonight. From Switzerland, weighing 252 pounds, Claudio Castagnoli.
Well, you know, Ted, Claudio Castagnoli, of course, has his eye on capturing that AEW International Championship, but also perhaps some stewing animosity between Claudio Castagnoli and Brody King stepping back to their battle during last winter's Continental Classic.
Absolutely, and you know, neither of these men have forgotten that. You see how Brody is just eyeballing hard right there from the middle of the ring.
But of course, in that battle, it was one-on-one. This is a four-way match. The AEW International Championship on the line, a completely different animal.
Absolutely, and these matches have favored Claudio Castagnoli over the years, whether it was PWG, Ring of Honor, you name it. Claudio has extensive experience with four athletes in the ring. Next, from Mexico City, Mexico, weighing 167 pounds, Mascara Dorada.
One of the most exciting young luchadors competing in CMLL today. A man that many have said Ian could be next in line to pick up the mantle of the face of CMLL after Mystico decides his time is past.
Well, that is a heavy burden to carry, but this man, with all due respect to Dominique Wilkins, he is a human highlight reel.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tremendous talent.
Collaborating.
Claudio Castagnoli, he defeated
actually by CMLL. Cooperating. Person, yeah. So Tony doesn't own the company, but they're working together. Whereas WWE outright owns AAA.
From Winnipeg, Manitoba, weighing 221 pounds, he is the AEW International Champion. He is King
2019, it was a trios battle. He teamed with Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks. Even though it was only 6 years ago, it might as well have been a lifetime ago.
It certainly feels like a lifetime ago. But in the present, Kenny Omega has returned to top 4. Championship gold around his waist and enters this main event quality match in just hour 2, folks. We have hour 3 and 4 to go. He enters as champion, has 4 great athletes from 4 unique countries.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about, the International Championship. And a 4-way match. Man, if you're a champion, in this case Omega, you're in danger heavily of losing the title.
Yeah, speaking of danger, Claudio Castagnoli immediately attacking Omega from behind
As Brody King hammering away at Castagnoli. Master Dorado now teaming up with Brody King. Remember, this is a 4-way match. Kenny Omega does not need to be pinned or submitted to lose the title. It's first pinfall or submission. In fact, if you haven't seen this type of match, there's no tags. It's not a tag team match. It's kind of just Wild Wild West Jones in the middle of the ring. As Dorado, Brody King, and Kenny Omega taking the fight to Claudio Castagnoli. John Moxley's emissary of violence in the Death Riders. Every man for himself. I mentioned Castagnoli. He defeated Commander. Brody King defeating Josh Alexander. And it was Master Dorado. A victory over Hechicero. This fellow CMLL athlete this past Saturday night on Collision that earned Dorado his spot in this match. Brody King running through both Omega and Dorado. Smart going towards the legs. Take down that big Red Bull. Master Dorado took a couple steps forward towards Omega. Omega, we got something else in mind as Claudio Castagnoli on the outside. And Castagnoli bailing out. Smart move by Castagnoli. Unpopular, but smart. Ankle pick right there by Dorado. Now the match. The pace of this match, Ian, is about to quicken. It is happening before our eyes.
And to me, this is a dream match. Dorado, to me, is the wild card. He has the least amount of experience in his career, but also, these 3 men have not faced Dorado in singles action.
Claudio Castagnoli running over Omega and Dorado. And I agree, Dorado, the X Factor in this match. He's had some great action on Collision. 2 weeks in a row, great wins. And Brody King and Castagnoli still on the outside. It's rare that Claudio doesn't have the size advantage. But when you deal with Brody King, Omega finds Claudio on the outside, and Dorado building up speed. Over the top, the tornado takes down King.
Bodies everywhere in the Mile High City.
For the international title, it's up for grabs. Just sidestep by Brody King, sent over the barricade.
Yeah, fans, this is not Coors Field. You got to throw him back. You got to let him get back into the ringside area.
And remember, we're just a few days removed from Double or Nothing. And Kenny Omega, part of that Anarchy in the Arena match, Taz. But as was Claudio Castagnoli, who's now taking a chop out of the head of Brody King. Castagnoli now likes to deliver that uppercut to a seated opponent. And right into that. Brody King caught him on the way in. Big man out of Van Nuys. He's coming in hot. Wait a second, Dorado. That's for Dorado. What if I work it? Step power back to Castagnoli. Like a projectile. Here comes King. Sandwiching both Dorado and Castagnoli. What impact. The life leaving Claudio temporarily. Dragging on the floor. And you can feel the floor, dude. What impact. What strength, what explosivity shown by Kenny Omega. And technique was the key to suplex a man that big. For the Snapdragon, you really got a good technique. Get your hips engaged, get low, and he did that. Omega, the 11th AEW International Champion. Now perhaps poised to turn the competition. Kenny Omega with the advantage in this It's four-way match for the AEW International Championship. And don't go anywhere because the battle rages on.
This summer, NASCAR's on TV. Gas and heartburn. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it on.
I'm lowering my CV risk. Ask your prescriber about Wegovy.
Welcome back to AEW's Fighter Fest, a 4-hour live broadcast here on TBS and Max. The AEW
4-hour
International
live.
Championship on the line, and right now the champion, Kenny Omega, finds himself in the grips of one of his three challengers, Claudio Castagnoli. He's shown heart, he's shown effort. If there's movement, he will fight back. If there's a pulse, he will keep going. Taz delivering the right, sending it back down. As Omega, the knee to the midsection. Hoist up, Castagnoli on the shoulders. Omega. Midsection on its calendar.
Think about going to bed after the match is over.
Castagnoli in that midsection. The battle diverticulitis Taz, the 2 feet of intestine removed from Omega, and Castagnoli shooting in on that and bringing those shots, those shoulder shots to the gut. Definitely can affect your liver like a liver shot that a boxer gets. And as we documented the issues, Omega rolls it up. See the Snapdragon delivered on Castagnoli. And John set for a ride. In comes Brody King. King's busted open, by the way. I think a gash over the eye, maybe from where he and Kenny Omega collided heads during the break. And nice arm drag, inverted arm drag. Good job by the big man there. Well done. That's it, Brody. Omega had the element of surprise last time. This time, it is King who's in control. And Master Toronto finding himself in the grip and in the fireman's carry of Brody. Oh, no! Wow, that sucks for Kenny. Oh, that sucks for Toronto, too. I forgot about that guy. Yeah, Toronto really got it bad, too. Both of those guys. And Brody. What power! By Castagnoli, the cover! Champion. So close. Almost a new international champion right there. And Taz, Kenny Omega would have played no role in the finish. He would have lost his title right there. And like you pointed out earlier, Stalin doesn't have to be part of, a submission or a pinfall victory for one of these other men. And he could lose his title without being involved with that sequence. Omega, the shot to the back of Claudio Castagnoli. And now Omega, maybe a V trigger for Castagnoli. Omega with Castagnoli up to the top.
Would this still be on?
When the eyes are glazed,
And what time does
Castagnoli, the
collision
champion
start?
now, sitting over the inside.
It's
That's why you see the
already
sense of urgency of
started,
Omega.
Because
Brody King.
we started before we started.
Thunder's chop takes down the champion and King.
Come on, Brody King.
Now maybe this is that lingering animosity between Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli stemming back to the Continental Classic.
Kenny Omega and Brody King and the other guy. But not Claudio Castagnoli.
Omega trying to put Brody King out, looking for one-winged angel, but King hammering down the right hand. And Castagnoli on the top. Uppercut. Castagnoli. The cover made. 2. No. Omega's there. Just enough to break it up. Omega saved his own championship right there. Boxer's impact on the landing of King. Oh, the way the head and neck snapped, and Dorada driving the drop kick into the champion. Dorada back into action, well, at least for a moment. Castagnoli sends him to the outside, sends Omega to the outside. And this makes clear the strategy of Castagnoli. He thinks he can get the pinfall on Brody King. Or is Castagnoli? Castagnoli, I'm not sure what he had in mind there. Brody King, though. The blood rushing in front from the skull, just above the eye. She's going to tip your top rope here, Big King. Tough, man. It's tough. There's perspiration. There's blood on those ropes. Strong as Castagnoli, so it's hard. Castagnoli sends Brody King down, but Master Dorada off the back of Brody King. Master Dorada with the chance. 1, 2, no. Knocking on the door. No. Kenny just wasted it. The knee strike as Fire Fastest 4-hour special broadcast rages on. I'm Excalibur, Eric Amani, Taz on the call for this AEW International Championship 4. Whoa! Johnny Omega, the beat trigger to Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio stays. Omega now looking for Claudio Excalibur. The one-winged angel, perhaps Dorada, has no intention of fighting. Oh, goodness! He's fighting the champion! He's fighting the champion! Oh, goodness! And Brody King swinging for the fences! The leg from Claudio for lunch. I think they caught Claudio high. But the cover man. Claudio able to kick out. What a battle. These 4 men from 4 different countries have an addict. Hanging in the balance is the AEW International title. You don't have these 4 competitors, Ian, with a clear advantage at this point. No, it is anybody's match here. Sold out Denver, this crowd going wild. And remember, we still have 2 more hours of Fyter Fest to come, including Will Ospreay in action. That's to the sternum, the uppercut. Brody King, while dropping Castagnoli down to a knee. Master Dorada, the crossbody. Oh man. Whoa, Dorada finds his feet. The nimbleness of Dorada on display. This is the creativity. Whoa! But Castagnoli shuts down Dorada with the high boot. It keeps coming back to these 2 beasts. Can he swing this big? Gigantic giant swing. The exclamation point. He broke it up. He hit the cover. 2-0 Castagnoli the stops. And I think we would have saw a rest stoppage with all the blood that is pumping out of the skull of Brody King. That swing, I think, would have do it. I think Claudio knows it too, Taz. Yeah, I think you're right. That's why he's signaling out Brody King right here. Here's Claudio. That's the point neutralizer. Center of the ring. Now Claudio covers. 2 Omega there just in time. So many near falls in this match when the titles almost switched. We lost count how many times. Fans here in Denver trying to will on Kenny Omega. Can he land another Snapdragon on Castagnoli? Can he defend his international championship? Dorada, the chance. Castagnoli, the crucifix. 1, 2. Now Dorada up to his feet, ducks under Castagnoli. Great extension on the thrust kick. Castagnoli avoids the ride. Dorada now looking for Castagnoli. Oh, Dorada to his feet. Master Dorada swinging and missed by Castagnoli. You talking about how Claudio Castagnoli so vexed by Luchadors once again, beaten that time by Master Dorada. And it might cost him the title. And it might put the title around the waist of Dorada. What huge news that would be as we head to Mexico in 2 weeks' time. Dorada's gonna win. Wow! Omega pushes the pile and breaks up the pinning predicament. Yes, Omega saving his own title again. Great defensive wrestling by Kenny. Now Omega, looking to take advantage of Dorada, but Master Dorada, the thrust kick stuns the champion, but the uppercut
I
stuns
can't
Dorada.
take this anymore.
Is now Castagnoli.
And yeah, we did start late anyways.
Dorada. Because a bloody Brody King just stumbling by our desk as Master Dorada.
This is like a 4-hour match.
Press to the floor.
they just dragged out
came
on
out of
Raw.
nowhere. And not only that, Taz, but he was able to avoid the champion. He's able to avoid Kenny Omega, who's looking beleaguered at this point. Dorado. Oh, Dorado was looking for the hook. Omega. The power. Okay, here we go.
And still, AEW International Champion, Kenny
Awesome match for these four athletes, but I'll tell you what, Kenny Omega deserves a lot of credit. Leaving this ring with his title intact. It is always a treat when we get to see the AEW International
Okay,
Champion.
we're done. One last time, it's Christy Crystal Megan, Amanda McKenzie, Noah Caitlin. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see all of you on Friday. SmackDown. On behalf of John Baxter, I'm Michael Paul. Thanks for being with us. Good night.
Love and subscribe. Love, like, and subscribe.